Alright boys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another episode of Fantasy Unlocked. This is your second episode. This should have been your third, but I felt sick over the weekend. I don't know if my voice still sounds as ass as it did in the weekend, but I'm better now. And I couldn't wait to get back to making more videos because there's so much to talk about and I wanted to span it out over a couple of videos. But it's been a fantastic game week one personally. I've seen the league, some of you guys have been doing absolutely insanely well. Better than I thought. But let's just go over the teams. Let's just go over what team I put out last weekend, and then we'll go from there. So obviously I scored 93 points, which is not bad. But this is the team I put out. I had Sanchez in goal, gave me 2 points. Not bad, not the worst. Alexander-Arnold 6 points. Luke Shaw a bit disappointing, gave me only 1 point there. Shimikas with 6 points. Looks like that paid off. Salah, banging performance there, bang a goal, 2 assists, made him captain, 34 points, get in. Fernandes, what a week he's had, what a game week he's had. I should have captained him maybe in hindsight, would have given me 40 points, missing around 6 points there. Rafinha and Mahrez were the disappointments. Really, I expected a little more from them, only 3 points combining the two of them. Pookie, didn't really expect too much, but he gave me 2 points, so I'm happy. Wilson and Antonio, happy days, 13 points and 6 points there, with Ayling with 6 points on the bench as well. So I think happy days. I'm quite happy with the way I set up this team. I think Mahrez is the player I'm looking to trade off in this match week. But let's look at the league right now. Where I'm standing at about 7th place, and I'm tying with Brandon Da Costa, PK Blinders at 93 points. We're right now with 28 of us in the league, so I will leave a link if you guys still want to join the league. It's only been 1 week, so you can still join in. I will leave a link down below. But let's look at the top 5 teams. I want to check out the teams. Trippy boy, Vedant is sitting at 111. Oh, banger, bro! What a team! He's got Mendy in goal, Van Dijk, Livramento, Rudiger, Sarr, Fernandes, Pepe, Salah, Richarlison, Antonio, Tony. Bro, that's a sick team, bro. That's a sick team. Can't fault it. He could have had a better 4.0 defender, but then we look at Shalan Desai, Kai Sala. He's got, man, that midfield though. That midfield is absolute bangers. Greenwood, Salah, Fernandes, Dallas, Mount. So tempted to go for Mount, but Tuchel is very unpredictable, so I didn't want to take a chance with any Chelsea boys. Maybe once Lukaku starts playing, I might get him in. Ings, Antonio, Shaw, Alexander-Arnold, and Dino. Okay, let's look at Liam Pereira. Decent team. I don't know why he went with Havertz. Chelsea players are always going to be super risky because of the kind of the rotation that goes on in Chelsea. The squad is very, very big. There's no chance these guys are playing week in, week out, especially once the European games start. And then we look at Anston Vaz. Bang on 100 points. Decent teams, boys. The teams are looking a lot similar as we moved lower down. Shimikas, Alexander-Arnold. Y'all took my tips, man. I'm happy. I'm a happy man. Very similar teams. Sufal. This seems like my first draft. A lot like my first draft. Aniket here with 99 points. Decent stuff, bro. But yeah, shit. Congratulations to all you boys for your first game week success. I'm happy to be part of it and take some credit for it. But this is exciting, bro. If you guys want to join in on the league, I will leave a link down below. The league code will be in the description, so make sure you can join in anytime because it's only game week 1, so you can join in. No harm done. But let's move on with the main content for today's video, which is the standouts from game week 1. I want to look at 5 different players that stood out to me and 5 different players that are possibilities to move into my team for game week 2. Obviously, I've made it no secret that I want to trade off Mahrez. Manchester City are going to be having a lot of rotation like Chelsea now that the players are coming back to training. No player is guaranteed to start every single week, and so it's going to be a very risky situation to kind of keep one player for the whole season unless they're doing really, really well or they're starting every single game. That being said, let's move on to the first player. The first player on my list is Greenwood. Greenwood right now is sitting at 7.5 mil for his price, and his ownership is about 8.6%. Not too bad, but his price is not enough for his price to rise over the weekend. But I think he had a solid performance. I wasn't sure how he would do coming back from not being selected for the Euros and having too much of a break. I don't know how his performance is going to be, and that's why I didn't select him. But it's good to know that he's back into the fray of things and for Manchester United, and he still has shooting boots on, so he's definitely a good investment if you're going for choosing a Manchester United player. Obviously Rashford, who used to be my go-to guy, but obviously with a shoulder injury, seemingly not that option anymore. Sancho, too risky an investment right now. So Greenwood, I think, is one of the safer options in that Manchester United team. You know he's gonna bag you goals. However, my qualm with Greenwood right now is when Cavani comes back. That is when the problems might start. Where does Greenwood play? Will he play on the right hand side? Will Sancho play in front of him on the right hand side? Ahead of him, instead of him, and how will the minutes be distributed between the two of them? Will Cavani be taking the European games? Will Greenwood be playing the Premier League games? I have no idea what's going to happen. So in that sense, it's a bit risky. But for right now, I know Cavani's only training at home. So for maybe for the next couple of game weeks, Greenwood is a decent investment. You can always trade him in for someone. You can always trade him for someone better. So the next one is Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes. Obviously a banging game week 1 for him. The best opener he could have ever asked for a hat-trick. And yeah, man, I think if you don't have him, you are crying right now. But if you have him, you are laughing your way to the bank right now. I didn't captain him. Obviously, I would have got 40.6 points more. I would have been up to 90. What is 93 plus 6?
21? You stupid.
But right now, I think his ownership has skyrocketed, and his price has also gone up. But I think he's that kind of player you want to keep in for the entire season. I think he's that kind of player, and every player has his down days, his off days. So you can expect that once in a while, but you can expect assists or penalties or something or the other from this guy, because he always comes with some return or the other. So I think Fernandes is probably one of the safest investments in FPL right now. Moving on, the next player on my list is HeungMin. Obviously, Tottenham beat Manchester City in a shock win, 1-0 at White Hart Lane. This is not a difficult one, honestly, because we all know Son is a really talented player. He's got insane returns. If you played FPL before, Son and Kane is one of the best partnerships in FPL and in the Premier League. Son right now is about 10 million, and his ownership is about 22.5%. which is not bad. It's quite a lot. Quite a lot, and I'm a bit worried that might drive his price up a bit. But I think whether or not Kane stays, I think he's a decent investment. I think if Kane leaves, he's an even better investment, because he's gonna be on penalties, he's gonna be on free kicks, he's gonna be the main man to score the goals, and he's gonna bring in returns for sure. I think Tottenham have some fairly decent fixtures coming up. I think Wolves next. So I think is it Wolves? So Nuno is going to be playing against his old club. Should be fun. Should make things much more interesting. But right now, I think with the Kane situation up in the air, I was a bit hesitant to go for HeungMin Son. I wasn't sure how the feeling was in the camp and how players were going to come out and perform. But after looking at their game week 1 performance, I think HeungMin Son seems more and more like a safer investment. Moving on to the next player, we have Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin, I think he's one player that we all identified last season as one of the top strikers to keep in your team, must-haves in your team. This season, I think he's gone way under the radar because maybe of his lack of his performance time in the Euros. I think that's definitely one of the contributing factors. We didn't really get to see him score a lot of goals before the season started. I think that has kind of drawn us all into maybe an illusion of that Calvert-Lewin isn't a goal scorer, and I think he shattered that in game week 1. He's still here. I think with the formation and the system Rafa Benitez is implementing right now, it suits the way that he plays. I think it's a little more defensive minded than it used to be, but I think against any team you expect Calvert-Lewin to be the one scoring the goals. Moving on to the next and the final player for me is going to be Ismaila Sarr. 2 seasons ago, when he was in the Premier League with Watford, he was tearing teams up, and he was one of the standout players for Watford that time. So for him to come back in the Premier League and absolutely dominate the way he has is no surprise. I think he really went under the radar for me. I didn't really spot him, now he seems like a really good investment now, especially for the price point. He's only 6 million. Right now his ownership is also at 4.2% only, so I think his price isn't going to rise anytime soon. So I think the faster that we can get a hold of him, the better. He's definitely one of the players I'm looking at bringing in right now, especially moving into game week 2. So there are a couple players I would really want to mention. These are the honourable mentions. The first guy is going to be Paul Pogba. Obviously, Paul Pogba had one of the best starts to his season ever. I think in a Man United shirt, having 4 assists on the first day. I think his total tally for assists last season was 3, and in 90 minutes he's already beaten that tally. So incredible scenes for Pogba. If you're a Man United fan, happy days. But however, I think I don't think he's the kind of player to put in consistent performance. This is something that we've not seen from Pogba yet, consistency. And so maybe even for short term it might be a little risky because we don't know how he's going to play. The next fixture for Man United is going to be Southampton. Not the easiest fixture, not the most difficult fixture. They've done well so far in the last season against them. I think they did the double over them. I do think Pogba is going to be a definite starter for them, but I don't know how consistent he's going to be performing. The next player is Richarlison. I think Richarlison is a top class striker. I think he does have his moments, his games where he shines, but he also has moments where he's absolutely lost. So the honorable mentions are all good players, but they're all risky investments. That the risk reward is kind of 50-50. So you can take your chance with them. If you have any sentimental value towards them, you can go ahead. But these are just a little too risky for me. The next guy is gonna be Jota. Jota for me right now is a really good investment. He scores goals when he plays, and that's the bottom line. However, he doesn't play too often, especially when you have someone like Roberto Firmino in your team who knows how to bag in goals, and he's played with Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah for a while now. You know that the minutes are going to be balanced between the two of them, and so maybe sometimes you don't know how the return that Jota might bring in, and equally with Firmino as well, we probably don't know how often they're going to be playing, and so maybe once one of them gets injured, if they get injured, they might seem like a little more safer investment to go for. That being said, let's move on to the next player, which is Benrahma. Benrahma, after looking at all your teams, I think a lot of you guys are going for Benrahma. So I mean, good for y'all for the first week. I don't know how he's gonna do in the coming weeks. For me personally, I don't know. Benrahma's a decent option, but I'm still not too convinced. I know he had a decent game week 1, but I'm still not too convinced. I saw his performances last season and I wasn't too impressed. I saw him when he was in the championship and I knew he was a proper baller back then, but I don't know, it still seems a little too risky for me to go for him, and I feel like there are better options in midfield right now. And so with that being said, I think these are the standout players from game week 1. If you're looking to trade in anybody, look at these. These are possible options. These are maybe your best options. You can add Mo Salah to your list, but I think Mo Salah is definitely one player you want to keep in your team season long. And if you don't already have him, I think you are making a massive mistake. You're missing out a lot of points. Yeah, I'm still in two minds right now. I going into game week 2, I was thinking I was gonna bring in Gundogan because I saw his performance against Tottenham. It was not the best, but it was an extremely classy performance. The attack wasn't able to finish the chances that he created, but he created. I think he was one of the stand-up players for City. Unfortunately, he picked up, I think, a shoulder injury. I'm not too sure, so I don't know what the scene is with that. Whether he's going to be able to play the next game, and I think the next game is against Norwich, so they're gonna have a field day. You just know it's gonna be a field day for City. So I'm definitely gonna bring in another City player. I don't know which player is gonna be. That's gonna be a tough decision to make. But I guess we'll see in the next video what my team looks like. And stay safe, stay healthy. If you are new to the channel, make sure to drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We are on the way to 100 subscribers. And make sure to follow me on my socials as well, the links for which will be down below. Again, the league code link is down in the description below, so it's not too late to join the league, boys. 28 of us right now, the more the merrier, that's what I say. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you boys next time. Peace.